This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I am joined once again by Integrative Health Practitioner Jill Bucaro, who is joining us all the way from Wellness Riot in Los Angeles. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you, Jamie.
Splendid, splendid. Now we're going to be talking about something that have puzzled me for quite some time. Supplements. Now, let's start off with the question for you. What are supplements exactly?
Yes, good question. So dietary supplements or like nutritional supplements are something to be added to a diet or to supplement a diet. So it's something to add to that you get benefit from, that benefits health. And really important is that it's not a replacement. So we're not going to out supplement our way, out of a bad, or we're not going to supplement our way out of a bad diet, but it's something to be added to. And there's different groupings of supplements. So there's vitamins, like a multivitamin or vitamin D or C. There's minerals like magnesium. There's botanicals or herbs. And then there's things like probiotics, omegas, proteins. So there's kind of different groupings of supplements, but the intention is to supplement or add benefit to your diet.
Now, there is the argument that if one is eating a balanced diet, one shouldn't require nutritional supplements. And that's something that I know my father's wife argues all the time when she hears that I take a few supplements now and again. What is the counter argument to that?
Yeah, so ideally, we would get all of our nutrition from our food. So there's a couple things or reasons we might not. One is that you have to ask yourself, do you eat a variety of foods, every day or every week? And like when it comes to fruits and vegetables, do you eat a variety of colors? Or are you just eating, potatoes, right? Or maybe you just eat broccoli. Most of us don't eat a wide variety of foods, throughout like a given period of time, like throughout a week. We get in our ruts, and that's common, right? We have this, we have this, we have this. So that's one thing. The other thing is that our soil isn't the same as it was 50, 100 years ago. So the apple of today or the broccoli of today might not have the nutrient value that it did 50 or 100 years ago, because how can our food be, nutrient dense when our soil is so depleted? And that has to do with our farming practices. So those are a couple of reasons where the diet might not be enough. Even though ideally we would get it from our diet, but there's times where we won't or we can't.
Now, in your role as an integrative health practitioner, you obviously advise people sometimes upon which supplements they should be taking and the like. However, I'd like to ask you a personal question. Yourself, what kind of range of supplements do you take?
So myself, I take a B complex specifically for the B12 because I'm plant-based. So there's a possibility and it's easy to be low in B12. I take a vitamin C just for immune support, especially in these last couple of years. I try to take, just keep up on vitamin C. I'll take omega. And that depends on what I've had in the day. So fatty fish are great, sources of omegas, nuts, seeds, flax, chia, things like that. If I've had some of those in the day, I will forego an omega supplement. But if I've had a day where I haven't had that, omegas are one that I take as well. So those are kind of the vitamin supplements. I'll add minerals to my water sometime because most of us are mineral deficient. I think it's 92%, at least in America, 92% of people are deficient in at least one vitamin or mineral. So it's, very possible that we're deficient, but those are some that I take. And then sometimes I'll do a multivitamin, a really high quality, nice multivitamin, just to fill in the gaps.
Interesting. It's a huge business, especially in the States. I was reading today, I think it's a $30 billion industry, the supplement industry. That's a lot of money. And then my next question would be, are all supplements created equal? And how would one know whether one was getting a quality supplement or something that was below par?
Yeah. So what to look for in a supplement? One of the things is minimally added ingredients. So if I'm looking for a vitamin C, for example, the ingredients should be vitamin C and maybe one or two other ingredients that would form the capsule or the liquid delivery system or something like that. Once you get to multiple additional ingredients, and it'll usually show as other ingredients. You have to ask yourself, like, are you really doing more harm than good? Because your body has to process everything you're taking in. So if you're taking in vitamin C and, I've seen up to, 9 to 12 other ingredients listed. So it's like your body has to figure out, okay, this is vitamin C is what we need, what we want. We're going to send it where it needs to go. And we got to somehow process this other stuff out of the body. So minimally added ingredients is a really good place to start. Third-party testing, and this could be listed on the bottle, but you can always call a supplement company to ask.
Right.
But third-party testing is a third party, a totally separate company or organization that tests the products of that company, of the supplement company. And it assures two things. One is that what the company says is in there is actually in there, right, and that there aren't any harmful substances in there that shouldn't be, like heavy metals and bacteria. So third-party testing can be really helpful to know that the product you think you're buying is what you're buying.
From my research about what goes on in the States, there's very little regulation when it comes to supplements. I was looking at what happens in Canada, and theoretically, any supplement sold in Canada has to have a license from Health Canada. What is the situation in the States?
So it's partially regulated, partially not regulated. So there are a lot of supplement companies that use FDA compliant or approved facilities to make their claims. And it's kind of that situation where the supplement companies, the good ones, right, they do everything they need to do, and the bad ones do everything they, think they can get away with.
Yes.
And then the FDA can fine them or, find out that they're wrong, right? So it's kind of the supplement company, it's up to them to do the right thing. And then they definitely can get fined and closed down and, all these citations if they're not following protocol. So it's a mix here.
It seems that the three areas where these supplement manufacturers really, well, they've been caught out in a lot of scams are weight loss, sexual performance, and I guess bodybuilding were the three sort of dodgy areas, shall we say. Is it the same in the States?
I'm not sure, but that sounds very right. Because that's what people are looking for, right? Like most commonly searched terms are probably weight loss, building muscle, so I'm sure the companies, right, if they're going to be like, I don't even want to say predatory, but if they're going to capitalize on something, they're going to capitalize on what people are looking for. So then that actually leads me to one other thing that you can check with supplement companies is to see if there's CGMP, which means current good manufacturing practices. Okay. That's at least what it's called here in the States. But basically it just provides for systems that assure that it's, the facility is proper design, monitoring, controlling. So it prevents things like cross-contamination, mislabeling, things like that. So cleanliness. So CGMP is another thing you can look for. And a lot of companies will have that like on the bottle. I mean, a lot of companies, if they're doing the right thing, they're going to let you know. Right. They want to let you know. So those things, and then also like just things like the allergens being listed, if it's dairy free or gluten free, or it contains fish or contains soy, those are some things that can be helpful too in like what to look for. And, some of the things to avoid would be that too good to be true, either in marketing or in price point. So sometimes you do get what you pay for. So if you're getting 300 tablets for $1.99, are you really getting what, something that's going to help you? So those are things just to look for. Sweeteners being added, either real or artificial. I mean, not as much of a problem with like capsules and tablets, but things like liquids or gummies, like things that are chewables, right? They want them to taste good. So there's sugars in there, there's artificial sweeteners sometimes, and then artificial colors and flavors. I mean, it seems kind of nuts, but it's like they want the, pill to be pink or green or red or, whatever this is. So the artificial colors and flavors are something to watch for. I don't want to get like too specific because there's unfortunately a lot of ingredients that you want to avoid, but a couple of them that seem to make an appearance regularly are titanium dioxide. So if you see this, it's a product that makes things white. So if you're taking a white capsule, a white pill, check to see if it's titanium dioxide included, because that's been shown to be connected with issues with the lungs and with kidneys.
Okay.
And then the other one is magnesium stearate or stearic acid. So these are used to make the tablets specifically not stick to the machine. Like it's like a lubricant. And this has been connected to like poor intestinal absorption. It can suppress part of the immune system, specifically T cells. So it's like, you see these like one after another on a supplement and you're like, oh my goodness, like, I'm not sure if this is actually helping. But those are just kind of some things to keep in mind. If you can just going back to that minimally added ingredients, if you could just do that, that will help. Like, I want this supplement and then it doesn't have too many extra ingredients. That's a good place to start. And then, these details you can kind of tackle as you get more familiar.
You mentioned fish oil there, and we do seem to have this obsession with fish oil the world over. And I remember my mother giving me spoonfuls of cod liver oil as a child. And you're making a face there, but I've grown to actually love that flavor. And I sometimes purposely with my fish oil capsules crush them so like I can taste the stuff. But I've been reading recently, there was a survey in the UK and they found that 60 to 70% of the fish oil that was available within the UK was actually chemically rancid. Have you heard anything about that before?
Oh, I was going to say, so I read that about 1/3 of the products tested in the United States tested positive for things like heavy metals, plastics, PCs. Okay. I mean, so I guess it's like one or the other. But it is one of those things like any supplement, and omegas are a big one to consider, is that the source of where you're getting it from. And, we have overfished and ruined our waters. I mean, it's very tough to find pristine waters really anywhere in the world. So how are we going to get quality fish oil from fish that are swimming in polluted waters? That is just kind of goes up the chain. But that's interesting about it being rancid. I wonder if they're
oxidized, for want of a better term. Yes. Mm-hmm. The other thing I think that's important to bring up, it is possible to have too much of a good thing. There are certain supplements you really shouldn't take too much of, right?
Yeah. And I think that really lends to working with a health practitioner or a nutritionist or your healthcare provider. Like, how do you know that you need something? Mm-hmm. And there's a couple ways to do it. So you can, there's testing available. You can get direct to consumer, or you can go to your provider and ask for testing for micronutrients and minerals and really find out that way. So something that's water soluble, like vitamin C, if you take it and you take too much, you're really just going to have expensive urine. Your body's going to be like, we're full, and move along. But something that's more fat soluble, this isn't, there are others that can accumulate as well, but the fat soluble ones, they kind of hang out. They're not going to be flushed out of the system as quickly. So those you can take too much of. So I would say it is important to determine what you really need to some extent. Now, most multivitamins aren't going to give you so much that it's going to be dangerous, right? Like it's just going to fill in the gaps. But if you're taking a single supplement like vitamin A or vitamin E or something like that, you do want to be aware of your levels and how much to take. So that's something that you can talk to your healthcare provider about to really determine where your needs are.
Excellent. The reason I bring that up is I've been reading recently that once you get over 50, your ability to have enough vitamin D in your body is something that lessens slightly. So many people advise that one takes a supplement for vitamin D. Mm-hmm. But one can take too much vitamin D. I believe it can cause some quite serious issues if you take more than, I'm not going to quote the amount, but it was a reasonably small amount. If you were taking it daily, could cause you quite a bit of damage.
Vitamin D is one of the fat soluble vitamins. So that would fall into, yes, you want to take the right amount. Now, most people are wildly deficient in vitamin D, and it's not necessarily over 50. It has a lot to do with where you are in the world. So how much sunshine do you get? The northern, parts and way south are going to tend to be less vitamin D, or going to be more vitamin D deficient. But the truth is, even here in Southern California, where we are in the sun, people wear long sleeves, we're still inside, we wear sunscreen. So we're not even getting the right amount of vitamin D. So that's a tricky one, again, as to most people are deficient, but yeah, you do want to be careful about taking too much and going in the wrong direction.
Right. In closing, I was going to give you, sorry, I'll do that one more time. In closing, I wanted to briefly run by you my supplement regime, and I would love some free consultation here about what you change or be worried about. It's reasonably simple, but it has grown over the years. I take lysine, the amino acid, every single day. I take B complex every day. I take calcium, magnesium every day. I take fish oil every day, and I take milk thistle every day.
Okay.
Your thoughts, Jill?
Why do you take, I can imagine why you take milk thistle for liver health, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And I understand why you take fish oil. Why do you take lysine?
Lysine, in my understanding, is known to suppress outbursts of cold sores upon people's lips. And it certainly has done that, touch wood, over the last few years. And I've had very, very few outbreaks.
Okay, good. I just like to know, sometimes it's like, well, I don't know. Why are you taking that?
I'm not sure I wanted to tell the world about that, but that's fine.
B is typically good for people because the B vitamins tend to get depleted quickly in stressful situations. Most of us are in stressful situations, so not a problem. Calcium, magnesium, I like that you take it in combination, because especially women, but not exclusively, will be told we need calcium, we need calcium, we need calcium. But if it doesn't come with the magnesium, it's kind of like the yin without the yang. They really need each other to work, because that's how the body is designed. It's really hard to take an isolated supplement without affecting or needing cofactors, I guess. So the calcium, magnesium, I like that it's taken together. And as long as the fish oil is high quality, I like it.
Good. The calcium, magnesium, I started taking that because I used to suffer quite badly from acid reflux. And it was pointed out to me that, lots of these anti-acid tablets that one would take, they're mainly calcium and magnesium. And ever since I started taking that, because of the amount of wine that I taste, it's dealt with it wonderfully, I guess. So
yeah, that's good. Yeah, those antacids and proton pump inhibitors and all that, they help in the moment,
yes,
but the long-term impacts are really, really terrible. They go in the wrong direction. They, suppress the stomach acid when really that's what we need to digest our food. So and magnesium is one of those other ones that most people are deficient in as well. So good job.
Okay, thank you very much. Jill, thank you for joining us at Good Food Revolution once again. We normally focus upon food, but I thought it would be interesting to look at nutritional supplements. So thank you very much once again. We'll catch up with you next month.
You're very welcome. Bye, Jamie.
Bye for now.